Hello, viewers. Thank you for joining us here today. Today, we have with us Mr. Jaideep Kewalramani, Head of Employability Business and COO of TeamLease Edtech. Jaideep has over 25 years of experience in leading and developing businesses across technology, outsourcing, digital, and artificial intelligence. Jaideep holds 4 patents in the artificial intelligence domain and has been recognized as an ecosystem contributor by India AI, a Government of India initiative. He is also the founding member of the Unmanned and Autonomous Vehicles Association of India. Jaideep, thank you so much for joining us here today. It's an absolute pleasure to talk to you.
Pleasure is mine, Supriya. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Jaideep. So, Jaideep, data and AI is such a hot topic as of today, right? And there's so much happening on that front. So, for a business, where should data and AI figure as far as business growth is concerned?
So, Supriya, since the advent of generative AI, it has become a mainstream conversation and has touched every level of the organization, right from boardroom to the junior most person, whether they are using it formally or informally. But AI has received the widespread recognition that it should deserve. To answer your question specifically, it should be in the top three priorities of the CXO suite in an organization. And I've been advocating for organizations to deploy a chief AI officer independent of the CTO or the CIO. For now, it could be a double hatting, but given the amount of technology advancement that's happening in the space and the real world use cases that are emerging, all organizations will very quickly find themselves developing a AI policy and AI strategy and different use cases. So the need for a chief AI officer will be there. So in the top three priorities and with a lot of focus.
That was a great insight, Jaideep. And a chief AI officer, I mean, we may need some time to get used to that, considering we just got used to chief digital officer. So, Jaideep, how can organizations effectively connect their data and AI initiatives with overall business growth strategies?
In a variety of ways. At the strategic level, pushing your data through AI engines will probably give you a lot of insights that the typical tools or humans were kind of blindsided to. It kind of creates a virtuous cycle of discovering different patterns and data points. So that's at the strategic level. At a tactical level, data should be put through a lot of AI systems so that you filter out the noise, inefficiencies, and you're getting clean data. This could be either at the input stage or at the processing stage or even at the output stage. On a transactional level, using AI to engage with the data collection is going to be very important so that you can get some predictive patterns in, you make the entire user experience seamless. And as the teams are using the data, if AI can help them prioritize or give them real-time insights on what they are actually looking for, the entire predictability will be a key over there. So at all three levels, data and AI can come together. So that would be very important for organizations to look at.
Yes, you rightly mentioned that data and AI have a world of good to offer to businesses, right? But as fancy as they sound, I'm sure there are a lot of challenges when it actually comes to the deployment of data and AI. So, in your experience, Jaideep, what are some of the common challenges that organizations face when trying to integrate AI and data with furthering their growth objectives?
So the first challenge any organization will face is when they look at tools that are masquerading themselves as AI, but it's not true AI. I mean, that's one trap that most organizations should definitely apply some filters on so that they are not kind of ending up into intelligent data management systems in the name of AI. So that's the first trap that they should avoid. The other two areas that an organization should look at when they are building their data and AI strategy is to look at whether the investment in AI will yield them the effective ROI today. I mean, they shouldn't jump onto the bandwagon just because it's fashionable right now and they have to make an AI statement. The use cases should be clearly defined. They should work with a partner provider to determine how it will help improve their end clients' interests, user experience, and then pick on these pilot projects and determine the scalability. The third, and not the least, is for them to determine the data security and the privacy that the AI tools will kind of engage. I mean, most of the times, data will be pulled into a cloud. Who owns the cloud? What is the jurisdiction of the cloud? How secure is the cloud? I mean, all of those things are very important. While the number of applications are growing, one needs to be a little prudent about who you're engaging with and how you're engaging with them.
I'm so glad you mentioned data security and privacy, Jaideep. This conversation is never complete without discussing data governance, which is such a hot topic again. And with the recent passing of the data protection bill, I'm sure the dynamics has changed completely. So, what role does data governance play in connecting data and AI, with business growth, and what challenges do organizations encounter in establishing effective, governance frameworks?
So the role is very, very prominent. To put it very simplistically, but in a very powerful manner, think of the AI tool as an external human interaction. If you are comfortable with sharing that data to a person outside of the organization, then you should have the same comfort with sharing that data with an AI tool. I mean, that's the simplest filter that any CXO can apply. And I mean, it's very, very common sense. In terms of governance structures and standards, again, you have to have different governance standards for different layers of the organization. At the grassroots, while you're enabling the human AI interactions or creating the AI augmented humans, they should know that they have an organization policy in terms of what data they can input into AI and what is within the bounds, what is outside the bounds. So that should be with great clarity. Use cases should be defined. The reporting mechanisms should be in a positive manner. So encourage the use of AI, but seek the permission that, hey, I want to use this AI tool for this application, and have a quick review process to kind of determine where the safeguards are. In terms of the organization data being used by proprietary AI tools or homegrown AI tools, that's not a challenge because it's all within the organization. But the minute you bring in a third-party organization, you need to apply the same filters that you would apply when you're purchasing a cloud solution or a blockchain solution. I mean, it's identical. So the same due diligence should be applied for data security when you're working with third-party apps.
Yes, Jaideep, another aspect of data security is, ethical AI. And especially with the advent of generative AI, right? People have become a lot more aware of, the ethical use of AI. And there is also a segment of people asking us to ban, these latest AI models that are coming out, like GPT-4 and things like that. So, what are the ethical and privacy considerations that organizations should address when using AI and data to drive profitability?
So let's address each of these elements. Let's talk about the hot potato in the room. I mean, I personally don't think AI should be banned at all, specifically generative AI and so on. There will always be good actors and bad actors who will use AI for the progress of mankind or to harm mankind. But if the good actors stop the development work on AI, you're giving the bad actors a lot of heads up to keep sharpening their axes. And in this day and age, even a 6-month slowdown will mean a 5-year lag. I mean, that's the pace at which we are dealing with. To address other points that you mentioned, when it comes to using AI profitably while maintaining the ethics of it, uh, ethical usage of AI is more guided by what the organization culture and the policy is. Like I said, the organization must encourage the use of AI. More importantly, they must encourage the full disclosure of use of AI. I mean, if someone has taken the initiative of finding a tool, running their work past the AI, they must be encouraged to share it with their manager as a part of a best practice, and it should be recognized, awarded. And at the same time, hey, you were using a free tool. Now let's look at the purchase policy of that. Let's look at the data security policy and so on. So rather than curb it, one must encourage the full disclosure and appreciate that there are initiatives within the organization. If the organization takes the first step saying that, hey, we want to become AI ready, If there are people within the organization who want to be the AI champions, please come forth. Let's run some pilots. And that way, you're building a culture that is more inclusive rather than people using free AI tools on the side and inadvertently, unknowingly harming the organization. On the ethical considerations of it, full disclosure along with respecting intellectual property is important. So, for example, if I have used generative AI to kind of produce a piece of text that I'm going to use for commercial use, the credit should be given for the source, and also the full disclosure should be applied, because impinging on intellectual property is not right. There is another issue that organizations need to be aware of, not to trust generative AI blindly, because these models are brand new. There are a lot of issues of hallucination kind of built in over there. And organizations will have to be very, very careful of just lifting what a generative AI is giving and incorporating it in their products. So the human review element should necessarily be there.
Thank you so much, Jaideep. So before we conclude, is there something that you'd like to add that I may have, forgotten to ask?
Well, no, Supriya, I mean, you've been championing the subject for a long time, and I think you touched upon all the elements. The only thing I'd like to add is to encourage organizations to look at AI augmented humans. And more than the chief AI officer, it is also the responsibility of the CHRO to see how they can bring in AI to augment the human capabilities in the organization rather than as a replacement strategy. And that will be a game changer for a lot of organizations.
Thank you so much, Jaideep. I must say it was a pleasure talking to you, right? You've given a very positive spin to AI, and I'm sure you've calmed a lot of nerves as far as AI use is concerned. I really, respect your point on using responsible AI in a responsible way. And of course, human augmented AI is the way forward. Thank you so much, Jaideep. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise, Supriya, thank you.